Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Box2Box podcast. My name is Tanner. I'll be one of the hosts. I also have the other two with me. One is in Gaisa
Hello.
and one is in Reza.
Hi, guys.
Hi, this is just a weekly podcast that us three are going to be doing. Probably one of us will host it randomly every week. Just talking about what's gone on in the week prior for football, what's going on in the future week or weekend, depending on when we do it, and just basically talking about events, sending offs, goals, VAR. I think everything's going to happen this year, isn't it? Really. So that's what we're doing throughout the season. Just thought I'd let you know. And how you guys doing? Are you guys excited?
Us?
Yeah, you two.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, guys, excited?
Yeah, no, definitely me too. Just
go on! Get in!
Just to let you guys know on the podcast we're also watching the Arsenal Brentford game as it's happening live, and Brentford have just put the ball in the bottom left hand corner.
Which start off the season.
I think Arsenal just getting back to their normal ways. Arsenal fan TV should be another brilliant one tonight.
It's going to be a fun one.
Lovely little long ball forward as well, which made it happen.
Did that
Lovely.
ball go out though?
Oh, here we go. First VAR decision already.
No, that ball. I don't know.
We've been live for what, 3 minutes?
No, it didn't. I'm sure.
VAR controversy straight away.
Mate, that's a finish as well.
No, to be fair, he did take it really well. For Gase, who's not actually watching, he's just gone inside the box, Gase, on his left foot, cut on into his right, and smashed it in the near post.
Go on, Brentford.
Made Leno look like an absolute idiot. So, I don't think anyone's going to be unhappy about that one.
I was going to put him in my dream team.
I bet you're over the moon now.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Right, anyway, guys, so if we get onto the topics, we've got around about 4 or 5 to talk about today. The first one, as soon as it's the start of the new season, I know the transfer window isn't currently closed yet, but just thought we'd have a little chat about what's gone on, what you guys think, who's had the best transfer window, who's had the worst, and just kick it off for that. If I go first in the best, I genuinely think that I'd put 2 teams that have had the best. I'd probably say it'd be Villa. I know they've lost Grealish, but signing Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen, isn't it?
Yeah,
Leverkusen, yeah.
Yeah, and a couple other signings that they've brought in, I think that will take him to sort of the next level. I thought they were actually quite good last year, especially their midfield with McGinn. It looks quite solid, really. And the second one would be United. 2 areas that we needed to strengthen, and right wing and centre back, and I think they signed 2 players that can help them move forward. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm similar to you. I think it is best to put it out there that we are all quite average United fans as well, so there will be a bit of bias maybe. I agree. I think Villa had a great window. United definitely, because obviously we've strengthened on the bits that we needed to do so, but also in terms of possibilities of the transfer window, if Chelsea sign Koundé,
you're right there. Yeah.
I've got them right up there straight away as well for a great window.
Yeah, no, I do think that as well. I think if they can get Koundé, I think that will be a great window for Chelsea. And also you can't forget City, really, if they can get Kane as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where all these players are going to end up playing, but we'll get into that.
How about yourself, Reza? Who you put in as had the best window?
Yeah, I mean, I think Villa did some good business. Obviously, they got it all done before the Grealish transfer was announced as well.
That's good,
which was smart. I think Danny Ings is a fantastic striker.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
As well,
and it'll be interesting to see how Bailey turns out, and obviously they got Buendia as well.
And they got a piece of a centre back from United too.
Mate, and Ashley Young, right?
That's a great free signing.
Season. Yeah, so I think they've signed well. I think they've made some really good signings. Obviously, Grealish is a massive loss for them, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting season. I think you boys are right. If they do get someone like Jules Koundé, Chelsea, then I mean, for what it's worth, I think they're going to be up there anyway. Obviously, I've given you the predictions, my table predictions already.
We'll get that later on. So,
but I think Chelsea. I think Lukaku guarantees goals, but again, we'll get maybe I don't know. Maybe we touch on it now because it is transfers, right? What we think of maybe some of the bigger transfers.
I still feel a bit. Lukaku for me, I do still think that he's just going to be a bit of a little game player. He doesn't strike me as I will do it against the big boys. I just do it against sort of like the teams at the lower end. And I just think...
I mean, it's a difficult one, right? Because obviously, looking at him when he was at United or previously at Chelsea, he was a small team killer, right? Came to United, similar situation, but then he's gone abroad. And for Inter Milan, looked like a beast, lost quite a bit of weight, obviously, because he was pretty fat for United. But in the Euros, he looked like a beast. I can't lie. I mean, they played some top teams, the Belgians, and he looked strong. He looked fast. So I think he's going to be huge.
What I'd put to you though, in the big games, did he really do that much in the Euros? Does he? Really...
I just think it's the way he plays, right? Because he's a big guy. He uses his attributes.
I mean, if any team is going to benefit, it's Chelsea. Like they're missing since Douglas Costa left. They haven't really had that proper aggressive striker that they used to. You had Didier Drogba, and then you go to Diogo Costa.
Now Timo Werner,
and that's Timo Werner.
He's not gonna give them much in terms of play from a striker. He's not a Harry Kane. He's not a Timo Werner. He's not an Edison Cavani.
No. Yeah.
But I think with Chelsea, the players that they have going forward, they will create chances and they will put the ball basically on a plate for him. And he will score goals. He guarantees goals. You look at everywhere he's been, he guarantees goals. And I think, obviously, again, from a United perspective, he didn't fit United. He just didn't. For what it's worth, I know you look at everyone's going to be like, mate, we're tuning out of this. Fuck this podcast. But in all, like, Morata was the one that United wanted, and he would have been better fit for United. He's a better footballer. We ended up with Lukaku. He's a goal scorer, and that's what he is.
In that window, it would have been better for Chelsea and United to have swapped players.
100%.
They should have really got Lukaku, and we should have got Morata. That's the way it should have gone.
Absolutely. But no, so I think Chelsea, if they get Koundé, then they've had a decent window.
Really decent.
I think that obviously United have had a good window. We're still short, in my opinion.
Your centre midfielder would sort of round it all off. 100%. I think, but
100%. A solid CDM. Obviously, the Pogba situation needs to be resolved as well. Thought I'd drop him in there, but it does need to be resolved. I don't think we can. It's going to be awkward. Well, I mean, I don't know if we'll have much choice in the matter, quite frankly. But
it's going to be a hard one when PSG have just got who they've got as well. So them getting Ramos and Messi, I mean, how do you tell Pogba to stay with us when he could play with them potentially? So
the only thing that might work in our favour is FFP. If they don't get rid of Mbappe, then I can't see how they could conceivably afford these players. I just can't see how they can pay
I see what you mean.
All of this money out in salary. So it's going to be, in terms of Premier League, it's going to be a really interesting season. And looking forward to it. Excited.
Yeah. So now it's
Brentford are on the attack again.
It's what everyone loves to see.
Go on, mate. Oh, you are joking.
It's a lovely bit of skip. To be fair to him, he's just done what Joe Cole did against. I know it's a painful sight to see, but what Joe Cole did against Rio, going back about 11, 12 years.
See, Brentford are going to be the dark horse this season by the sounds of it. Brentford are going to be those.
I mean, he dragged it, but sorry, G.
No, I was going to say Brentford's going to be that team now. See, obviously, when we get into our Prem table predictions,
you see a few of them are going to change. All of a sudden, Gase is putting Brentford at 6.
Well, you never know. It might be one of those surprise seasons, like your Leicester, your Hulls, or Leeds.
Possibility.
You never know. We'll see.
Possibility. So yeah, now we've touched on the best. Who do you guys think's had the worst? In my opinion, I'd probably say Newcastle have had the worst. I know they've got their man in Joe Willock, who was really good for him towards the end part of last year. But is that really gonna stop them from being near the relegation zone? Just one player?
I think they're poor. I do. I think Burnley haven't had a great window either, for what it's worth. But I just think that Newcastle, there's issues in the background of that club, right?
Yeah,
they're still trying to fight
definitely.
They're still trying to fight to get this the takeover through.
Yeah.
Mike Ashley is just he's a to borrow a joke, he's a virus, right? He's he's not good for that club. He doesn't want in. Mate, go on, Brentford. Mate, I'll tell you what, Brentford are looking really, really good. Anyways, I think I'd go with Newcastle. I think Newcastle are going to really struggle this season.
Guys?
Yeah. No, I agree. I put Newcastle down. Everton were one that I'm a bit touch and go.
Yeah.
No, I actually think Damari Gray was great when he played for Leicester, and I think that's a good signing for him. Townsend, bit old now. Begovic, I mean, I suppose that's just a backup keeper. Other than that, Burnley again and Newcastle. Newcastle definitely, I think, considering their finishes, and also Burnley. I know Burnley turned it around at the end of the season last season, but considering both their last seasons, I think they should have done a bit more. But looking into the Mike Ashley situation, who knows what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's one of those where you don't really know what he's actually doing. I don't even think he knows what he's doing, really. He's tried to offload him twice and he just hasn't gone through, is it, really?
Yeah, he doesn't want them. And to him, it's a drain, I guess. And to the fans, obviously, the fans don't want him either, for what it's worth. So, as I say, I do expect Newcastle to struggle this year.
Yeah, no. So, as we touch on transfers, we should move to probably our next topic. I've got table predictions, guys. So, I don't know how we really want to do this. I mean, we can each say our table predictions and then afterwards sort of try and get a tier list of what we can try and somewhat agree on what we think the final Premier League table is going to be.
I think we could, if you wanted to, I think we could section it. So, like, we all say our top 6, then who we'd put in the top 10, and then the bottom 10 in general, just so we can then have a discussion.
Do you want to start at the top end of the table, or do you want to start at the bottom end of the table?
I think we start at the top.
At the top?
Absolutely.
I mean, I mean,
for me,
I think we win it. In all honesty, I genuinely do.
No,
it's probably very biased, but I just think that we needed a centre back massively. We needed a winger. I genuinely think we could still somehow pull it off on a last day Ollie special. Somehow Cavani pops up with a winner, maybe win it on goal difference or something like that. But I genuinely do believe we will win it.
Yeah. What about your top 4 in general?
So my top 4 in general, how I would go, I'd go United, City, and then I think Chelsea and I think Liverpool will be 4th. I don't think Liverpool are going to have that good of a season. I believe it's the African Cup of Nations this year, so Mane and Salah will be going. So you've got to think for a month of the league, they won't be there. So I think they might have a little bit of a dip around about Christmas, just after Christmas time. But I think they'll pick it up. They're too good of a team not to be in the top 4. I just don't think that they're going to be as good as Chelsea, City and United.
Nice.
But you guys, top 4? Guys, top 4?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I'm a realist. So United are winning the Premier League. I've put us at the top. I think, again, Pogba's situation might hinder our performance a bit because obviously our midfield is, though we've done great work in terms of Sancho and Varane being the best centre-back in the world. I do think we are going to have issues with the holding midfielders, but hopefully our defence can hold their own. So I've put us at the top.
Yep.
I've got City coming in second because, to be honest, it was quite a toss-up between City and us. Yep. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be an interesting season. Chelsea again. I think Chelsea, no matter what, obviously Champions League winners, they've had a good window, and if they, like I said, if they get Koundé, they could be scary. And I did put Liverpool 4th as well because I think they are too good to just say they're going to have a bad season.
I didn't mean bad season. I just think that in the mid part of the season, they're going to have a bit of a blip with missing some key players. So that's the only reason I don't really pip them for winning the title or getting close to it.
Yeah, I mean, they got Van Dijk back as well, but I mean that could be good. But obviously, he's been out for what, 9 months. Yeah, so he's going to have a lot of time to get back into the swing of the Premier League. 100%.
Yeah, of course. Reza, top 4.
Well, quite different. It's not that different. Obviously, it's not that different, but I can't see past City with or without a striker. I just cannot see past them. I mean, that midfield is mental. Absolutely mental. The talent they've got. Obviously, I know De Bruyne is out for a bit. Grealish isn't quite fit. Who else is out? Someone else is out as well for them. Who else is out? I can't remember. Someone else is out. But Rodri had a good end of season. Obviously, Gundogan had a really good season. He had a good few 3-4 months while De Bruyne was out. I think in terms of their defence, Diaz is superb. They've probably got the best right back in the league in Cancelo. I can't see past City for me personally.
Well, he's a City fan then.
Then second, I've got Chelsea. I do think that from you look at their team, their midfield's good. Going forward, I'm a massive fan of Havertz. I think Havertz is a quality footballer. Yeah. I think defence, they've got a decent defence. And I just think that from a tactical perspective, I just think Tuchel's just a better manager than Ollie when I've got United in third. I just think that unless something changes dramatically, I just find, I've said to you boys before, Solskjaer is tactically inept. We said it, the final Euro 2020, right? It was literally like watching Man United, watching England in that final, waiting that long to make your substitutions, to try and change the game, to try and affect the game. It's Ollie Solskjaer all over, and that scares me. I think you look at it, though, and we've got probably potentially the best defensive 4 in the league, assuming the Varane deal goes through, all okay.
Yeah.
CDM's a massive worry. I don't think Fred or McTominay are good enough, either of them. Obviously, Pogba, you're never quite sure what you're going to get with Pogba. Can Fernandes do it again? Is Sancho going to hit the ground running? I think there's a lot of issues, and obviously Rashford had his surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. Yeah. So it means that we're relying on Martial for a couple of months at least. Yeah. So I don't know. And obviously the start we had last year was poor. Yeah. It's really important to get a good start to the season this year, and then anything can happen. And then I've got Liverpool in fourth. Yeah, same as you boys. I just think that, again, obviously Van Dijk's coming back. You don't know how he's going to be. He's a big guy. He's 30 years old. Yeah. That kind of injury. I mean, that was a career-ending.
No, it is. Yeah,
career-ending injury 10, 15 years ago. Nowadays, less so, but he is 30 and he's a big guy. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes back from that.
It'll be interesting to see his pace as well. Sorry to cut you off, just because he is quite a quick defender. And an injury like that must knock a little bit of your pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is it, I think. And regardless of, I don't know if he'll ever get back to being as good as he was, but he was that good in the first place that he probably doesn't need to worry too much. Yeah. And I think that with they signed a Konate as well, didn't they? Konate. And I think that that's a big signing for them, because I think Konate and Van Dijk could be impressive.
I think they mugged Bayern off with that. I think Bayern got the worst end of the deal getting up with Makano. I genuinely think
I think you go back to last summer and it was Upamecano, right? Literally. And then as the season went on, everyone was like, hang on a second.
Well, when we played Leipzig, wasn't it? That's when it changed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. It's like, is Upamecano that good? The thing is, they're both young, right? So we don't really know. And as a defender, you don't really peak until later in your 20s. So they've both still got time. Who knows what's going to happen? But I still think that it's a decent signing for Liverpool. It gives them cover at centre-back, which obviously they were sorely missing last year. Yeah. So I can't see them being as bad.
Yeah.
And but I don't think they're quite good enough. I don't think they've strengthened enough. For me. So that's my top 4.
So if we just start this tier list off now, we'll do the top 4 then. So are we putting United at the top, or are you not gonna let us have it, Rez?
It's 2 to 3. It's 2 out of 3, mate. Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, obviously, I no matter what, I'm going through every game thinking we're going to win, no matter how delusional that is. But I can see, I think definitely at the moment, I would put us in the top 2. If you wanted to put City there, I wouldn't argue. But I do think
I would say though, I think if City do get Kane,
it's game over.
I genuinely do think I probably would change. I just think that then they're with him.
Talking of now we're on this topic really quickly. Did we want to go into, so obviously City have bought Grealish, right? So they've got Grealish as a left side or a central player. They don't have a striker. They're going to play De Bruyne as a false 9. Where is Grealish going to go in behind? Is Grealish going to go instead of Sterling?
I don't even think they know, mate. I think they're just going to.
I don't know, because where does Foden fit? Where does Sterling fit? Where does
Silva
Mahrez fit?
I don't think Sterling plays.
What about Ferran Torres? Ferran Torres scored goals for them last year. What about him? I can't see how. Look, I think Jack Grealish is an absolutely fantastic footballer, and I think it's a great signing for any team. But I don't see. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how City line up. Obviously,
that's what I mean.
No, there's a few weeks before we see it. Obviously, players have to come back from injury. Players have to get to full fitness.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see how they line up when they do. And I'll tell you what, City against PSG in the Champions League will be juicy.
Just before we do move on, guys, just on the same topic, do you think Grealish is going to be wasted going to City?
It depends on if they play him, right? Because obviously for me, if they buy Harry Kane, I don't see how, unless you kick out Sterling, how you get Grealish from that team, right? Because unless you're going to leave, obviously, the transfer of Kane, they're going to do what they did last season when they played De Bruyne as a false 9. Grealish can then either sit in behind or Sterling can. And then they alternate between the left or the middle. If they get Kane, I think he'll be wasted. Or they drop Sterling, which is a possibility, but obviously Sterling is loved by Pep Guardiola by the looks of things. So I don't know how it works.
I think it's an interesting one. Just given the fact Grealish is coming up to like his prime years as an attacking midfielder. And I think the fact that he's going to a club where he possibly be sitting on the bench for 50% of the games or 40% of the games minimum.
You think so, yeah?
Because you look at other talent that's there already and ahead of him that he's got to be. And we haven't even given Phil Foden a mention. Like,
that's what I mean.
But he's 25, Grealish, right? I think, isn't De Bruyne 29 or 30 now?
He's coming up to that. He must be coming up to that. Yeah. Well, it seems like
he's 30. Age. He was 30 in June.
Yeah.
So, look, I think Grealish is going to have to bide his time. They're going to rotate a lot, City. But I think that with the way that Pep drills that style of football into them, you saw it with Gundogan, right?
Yeah.
A player comes in, it's like they weren't missing anybody. And I think that's what City are all about. Because of the style of football, I think it'll just rotate. And I think Grealish, you're right, he won't play every game. It won't be anything like he was at Villa. But he's got a couple of seasons, and then De Bruyne will be hitting the tail end of his career. So it'll then be on to him and Foden.
Do you think that Pep's got him in now, so in terms of Grealish, to be De Bruyne's replacement?
I don't know necessarily De Bruyne's replacement, but I just think another option. I think Grealish is so good with the ball at his feet. So good. His close control is just immense, and obviously he draws a lot of fouls. He's just a fantastic footballer. I think that he's just very technically gifted. similar to Foden. I think for me, he's better than Foden at this point in their careers, but obviously Foden's quite a bit younger.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's necessarily a replacement for De Bruyne or just another option. I think is probably the best way to define it. It's just literally that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't think De Bruyne is really replaceable, right? Because he's all round. He's unbelievable. One of the best midfielders like I've ever seen in the Prem, to be quite honest with you, in terms of obviously defensively, going forward, both-footed, unreal. But yeah, I think it's just keeping those options open.
Yeah.
So when the time does come, they can then obviously rotate and try a range of different players in different positions to try and see what works. Because yeah, he's going to leave a big hole in that squad.
Yeah, interesting, guys. Yeah, nice to get your opinion on it. So as we've done that, should we move on to 5th to 10th of the league?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'll go first then. So at 5th, I'm putting Leicester.
Yeah.
I genuinely think of the 15 teams that we left in the league, or 16 teams that left in the league, sorry, apart from the top 4. I think they're going to be the next best of the lot. I see. I've got 2 different versions of it. If Harry Kane stays at Spurs this year,
right,
I genuinely think they'll finish 6th.
Okay.
If he doesn't stay at Spurs and he leaves, I'll put them at 10th.
10th?
I genuinely would. I don't think.
Listen, I mean, Spurs were a terrible football team and a terrible football club with terrible fans. But, right, and don't laugh at me. And I'm quite happy for Spurs fans to get in touch, and I'll explain why. But I've got them in mind. I've got them in 7th. With or without Kane, I think they'll stay 7th. They're just not a good team at all, Spurs.
I just put it in Harry Kane for them gives them pretty much everything. Like Son's only firing because of Harry Kane, I believe. Son's a 10 times better player with Harry Kane in the team than without Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And I just think missing him or losing him, should I say, sorry, would be a massive, massive loss.
Yeah.
And I just believe they won't be as good as the teams that I'm about to put in front of them. In all honesty, if they lose Kane, so if I do with Kane, I'd put Villa in 7th. But obviously,
interesting.
I think they're going to be better than Arsenal with the signings that they've made. I'm a big fan of Bailey, the guy they signed. I used to sign him on Football Manager about 4 or 5 years ago. I think he was unbelievable then. He's turned into a wonder kid on Football Manager, but I think he's a really, really good player. When dudes, I always get his name wrong in the middle. They've just signed. Who's the other guy they just signed?
Are we talking about Villa?
Yeah, Villa. I wanted to say Guendouzi, but I don't think he's. I don't think that's right. Buendia, that's it. Buendia, sorry, yeah. I think he's an unbelievable signing as well. I've got their goalkeeper. I'd probably go as far as probably one of the best in the league. If you take the big boys out of the equation, I think he's better than what Tottenham have got. He's better than what Arsenal have got. I think he's. I think the only other goalkeeper apart from the top 4 keepers that are better than him, I'd probably say, is Kasper Schmeichel.
Nick Pope's up there as well.
Yeah, no, I think I'll go along with that, Tan, to be honest. I think he is good. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. He's good, great shot.
I'm still shocked that Arsenal got rid of him and kept Leno. I just looked at it and I couldn't believe it.
Yes, that's Arsenal.
But that's Arsenal all over. Next, I'd have Leeds.
Okay.
I just think that under that manager, they're just so unpredictable. But I just think that they started to get it together a little bit in the bigger games towards the end of last year. And I think if they can get a little bit more form when it comes up against teams that are at the lower end, I think they will just outscore teams. So that's why I'd put them next. And then I'd put Arsenal. It's quite a hard one with Arsenal because I know they've signed Ben White, which he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but 50 million.
He's not the worldie they're all saying he is, but he's a good centre-back. 50 million for a centre-back that's played 1 year in the Premier League, 1 year in the Championship, in the team that was the best team in the Championship by a long country mile.
I don't think it warrants 50 million. I think that he needs somebody alongside him that's going to be very, very good. And I don't think Arsenal have got that for him. I think that if he makes a couple of mistakes early on in his Arsenal career, I think that the fans will start to hammer him. We already know what they're like on social media as it is. So I think if he takes a couple of hammering, it might knock his confidence a little bit and stop him from playing like he normally does. But yeah, that's what my top 10 would look like. We'll finish off top 10. Yeah, Gace, what do you say? What's your 5 to 10?
I agree with your fifth. I've put Leicester. To be fair, I mean, it was hard because Leicester are obviously that dark horse team who could do anything at any moment, right?
They're
unbelievable from time to time. I definitely think they should be challenging top 6 at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they signed that striker from... Who did they sign? I can't remember. From Salzburg, that Daka.
Daki. Is it Daki? I think it is. He's really, really quick. Really quick.
Yeah, Patson Daka. That's the one. Yeah, he looks good. So obviously, I don't know what's going to happen with like their Iheanacho, if he's going. What's the situation with him? But yeah, I think Leicester are definitely going to be one to watch out for, as they always are.
Yep.
So they're my fifth. Now the sixth is a shocker because I don't I don't know why I've put them here now. Arsenal was sixth for me.
Really?
I just don't see how they can be as bad. And this is basing again off of the Harry Kane situation at Tottenham, right? I don't see how Tottenham can compete if they don't have Harry Kane. No matter who they get in, I just don't think they'll gel very well. But anyway, so yeah, I've got Arsenal sixth.
Yep.
I've put, again, even though they've missed out on Lord Lingard, I've put West Ham in seventh.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're going to be one of the dark horses again. I think they're going to pick up where they left off.
Okay.
Tottenham in eighth.
Yep.
I think if Harry Kane stays and they they build the morale back up, right? Because he's burnt a lot of bridges being the arsehole that he has been in the manner in which he's dealt with the whole situation at Tottenham.
Yeah, no,
yeah. They build it back up, I think Tottenham could pick up the table. And then for my 9th and 10th, I've got Leeds and then Villa. I think the reason I put Leeds above Villa, though they have made good signings, they've lost their best player, right?
Yeah.
Though they've got Ollie Watkins and these sort of players, they've made good signings like your Baileys. I just think that Grealish brought so much to that team. I don't know if, though they've made great signings, if it's going to have as big of an impact as it would have done with Grealish in the team. So, yeah, it's my top 10.
Fair enough. Reza, your 5 to 10?
So, same as you boys, Leicester.
Yeah.
It's a given.
Yeah.
They are the best of the rest. Then I've got Arsenal as well.
Wow.
And then Spurs, with or without Kane. Then Villa. So I just think they've signed well. I think Watkins and Ings, if they play 2 up front, but the rumours are, I think they're looking to push Watkins maybe out to the left. But we'll see. But I just think Villa have signed well, and I think they're a club in the ascendancy. They've got money as well. They have got owners with money. Then I've got West Ham. I don't think they'll have as good a season as last. Obviously, they've lost Jay Lings.
Yep.
But I do think that overall they're still a decent enough team.
Solid.
Then I've got Everton, and I think that rounds off my top 10. I just think Everton they're going middling. I think they're an okay team.
Yeah.
But nothing fun. There's nothing that stands out about Everton other than Rodriguez, and he's hit and miss. He's hot and cold. I don't think the signings.
No, your Damari Gray, Townsend, I don't think they have a mad impact.
That's what that's what, when we were talking about a transfer thing, that's what I was saying about Everton. I mean, they've got Richarlison. Richarlison can be a bit of a worldie, but he's again a hit and miss player. And then Calvert-Lewin is all right. So yeah, I agree. Everton is definitely just a mid-table.
So that rounds off
I've just actually realised, guys, I put Arsenal at 10th and I didn't. I had Everton at 10th, so Arsenal would actually be 9th for me.
Oh, okay.
That's what I believe. So I
Making
forgot.
moves.
I only gave you 4. Five.
Five.
5 of the 6. Yeah. So actually, I've got Everton at 10 as well, Breza.
Okay.
That's where I believe they're going to finish.
Great minds.
Great minds do think alike, as they say. So I mean, we can do 11 to 16 if you want, and then then we got the last 4 of relegation battle, or we can do the last 5 of relegation battle. It's up to you boys, really.
I think we do the last 5. I think
Last
we do
5?
10, 15. Yeah.
Okay, no way. So 10 to 15. Also, I've said Everton at 10. I think West Ham in 11th. I think with Jesse Lingard, they made the run for top 4. I think without that type of player in their team, I don't think they're going to score that many goals. That's just, in my opinion. Obviously, probably you boys have put them a lot higher than what I have, but that's what I believe for them. I think Wolves in 12th. It's going to be a difficult one for them this year. Obviously, they've lost their goalkeeper. They've lost their manager. There's reports that Ruben Neves wants to go as well. And I think there's a couple others that wanted to go as well. I saw the reports of today. I can't remember their names. But a couple of their first teamers are wanting out. Sort of the Portuguese connection has lost its lost its strength. But yeah, I still think I'll have enough, especially with Raul Jimenez. I don't think they'll be in a relegation scrap, but I don't think they're really going to be lighting up Europe or looking at Europe this year. After that, it's a tough one now. So
Really?
Even though I said Newcastle have had a really bad transfer window, I genuinely would put them 13th. And it's only because if you look at the table from last year, they were 17 points in front of the bottom 3. I don't think they lose 17 points. Even though they haven't made any sign, I don't think they're going to lose those points. So I think they're going to sort of finish whereabouts they did last year again.
Right.
After that, I just said Newcastle. After that's Burnley. Burnley are one for me. I think Burnley with Sean Dyche, I just don't think they'll be in a relegation scrap, I believe, till about Marchish, sort of February, March, and I think they'll come out of it and end up sort of going forward and be better for themselves. I think they just get to the point where they'll somehow scrape it. It sort of reminds me of a Wigan. They'll just scrape it somehow. I don't know how. They just seem to not end up getting relegated. So that's my 14. And then my 15, I put Southampton. I think if they can hold on to their centre-back, Vestergaard, because there's rumours that he's going to Leicester, they can keep hold of him. I know they have lost Danny Ings, which is a massive, massive, massive loss for them. But I still don't think that they're worse than what I've got from 16 to 20, in all honesty. So, yeah, that's my 10 to 15. Gase, it's your 10 to 15.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, with similar teams, well, I think it's all the same teams, to be honest, within that, apart from obviously you had Everton. Did you have Everton at 10th? You had
I did have Everton at 10th. Yeah, I had
yeah. So my 11 is Everton. Again, I think I don't think they're challenging for the top 6 anymore. They're just a mid-table team.
Yep.
So they've got there for me. Next, to be fair, I didn't know whether to put them 12th or whether to put them lower. Wolves are a really hard one.
Yeah.
Right, because obviously you could see last season they just didn't seem to gel as well. They have great players, don't get me wrong, but losing their manager as well. I mean, Jimenez was out for a big portion of last season. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And he's right. A massive loss. But losing Nuno, I think, is a big one. I think Tottenham have done massive. Great.
Yeah.
Tottenham have done big, which is one thing I didn't... Go on, Rez.
Yes. Spoiler alert. They're my dark horse for relegation. I'm not saying they're going to be relegated, but we'll get onto it. Yeah, I agree with Wolves. Everything you said about Wolves.
Yeah.
They worry me because I actually like them.
Yeah.
And I thought they were a breath of fresh air season before last. Obviously, last season went off Wales.
Good players. Yeah.
I'm not sure about the style of football. I disagree with that. I think Nuno he's he's quite a pragmatic coach, but I did like them. I just think that their signings, the Portuguese contingent, were excellent. Obviously, Jimenez last year was a massive blow to them, and they sorely missed him. With him back, who knows? But
you never know.
Yeah, they are the thing with what you don't know, and I think that's the concern. Similar story with Southampton for me. Those two teams are. I found it quite difficult to judge where they were going to be because actually, again, two teams that are quite good or have been quite good, but then also look awful in spells.
Yeah.
See, I think that's similar for me for Burnley, to be honest, because I've got Burnley next. Burnley are my 13th, but purely on the basis that they have their spurts, right? The beginning of last season was poor. They then came into their own, and they can beat the big teams, right? They have the talent. I think Nick Pope's insane in terms of goalkeepers as well.
No, he's one of the best.
I just Burnley were a really hard one. I didn't know where to put them, to be honest, because I think they could push up the table. I think they could be taking over Everton, but then at the same time, you just don't know. They're inconsistent, and going off last season, they're probably further down than they would have been previously. But yeah, so Burnley then, and then I've got Southampton. Again, similar to what you both said, you don't really know. They've got good squads, but again, they could hit the ground running, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And then next, again, for me, is Newcastle.
Yeah.
Though again, for me, spoiler going forwards, I think the first manager to be sacked is going to be Steve Bruce, but we'll get into that later. But I think Newcastle are going to stick around 15th, but I think they could fall off and be in a massive relegation battle.
No, I see what you mean. So, Reza, 11th, 15th?
Yeah, so I got Leeds in 11th.
Yep.
Wolves in 12th, but again, I think that's up for debate. We'll see at the end of the season. Southampton 13th.
Yep.
Burnley, and then Brighton.
Brighton, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, they play nice stuff, right? They do. Potterball is nice. They play really nice football. They need a striker. They needed a striker last year. They didn't get it. They needed a striker this year, and so far they haven't got it. I don't know what's going on in that club, but they're just not buying a bloody striker. If they get a decent striker who nets them 12, 15 goals, then actually I can see them climbing up the table. There was a lot of talk of Tammy Abraham. I don't know whether that was driven by Brighton fans themselves. I think that would be decent for them.
Sorry to cut you off. The last time I heard, he was either heading to Inter
wasn't it?
or Arsenal. They're the two places that apparently he's going to be going to.
Roma as well.
Roma, I thought it was.
As well, yeah.
34 million to Roma, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, I think Brighton will be okay again. If they get a striker though, they could move up the table. But for me, it's 14th.
Yeah,
or 15th. 15th for Brighton.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, Sam. So then if we go to the relegation scrap, if I got it in mind, I think Brighton are my next team anyway. I don't think they're going to go down. I just think that I don't think they're better than majority of the teams that we've already mentioned. Mainly because of what you said about the striker, Rez. That's my main concern about Brighton. They just don't have anyone to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, well, I think last season they were relying on teams being worse than them. I can't see it being any different this year, and that's it's a precarious position to take it. Like you are not able to maintain Premier League
status.
By playing that way and by relying on teams being worse than you.
Yeah, of course.
I don't quite know what the club are doing, if I'm honest.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone.
But you ask Brighton fans, and they're probably getting into Europe.
They're going Europe this year, mate. One striker, they're going Europe. My team to miss out on relegation and finish 17th is Brentford. Funny enough.
You've just changed that
No,
Yeah,
honestly,
you
no,
have,
honestly,
mate.
I swear down. I swear down. I'll send you the paper. I'll send you a picture of what I've written down. I've had this written down since I said to you about this podcast.
I've had mine written down since 5 minutes ago as well. Because people are going to laugh at me because I've got Brentford again. Spoiler: I've got Brentford last.
I do too.
I watched a bit of Championship football last year. They're not actually too bad of a team. They've got two centre midfielders that are actually quite half good. And I think if they can try and see if they can play sort of halfway they're playing right now, but take tonight out of the equation as if we haven't seen the game. I think if they genuinely can play like they did last year, I think they'll just miss out on not miss out. They won't get relegated. It won't be by a lot. It'll probably be by a point or two, but I think they're going to survive. And then my bottom three: Watford, Palace, Norwich. It's just how I see it. I don't think Watford are going to be too good. I think they're going to be heavily reliant on a Troy Deeney that's really aged Troy Deeney. Palace, Jesus, I don't even know where to start with them. It's either going to go one or two ways with Palace. I think they're either going to surprise everybody and Patrick Vieira is going to get them to like 10th, or I think he's going to be sacked by November. It is the two things that I think. And then Norwich, I just don't think they've got enough to compete with the Premier League teams, really. I just think they're going to get relegated. It's just simple as that. As the team that up at 20th.
Fair enough.
Guys, 16 to 20?
Well, my 16th is actually Norwich.
Oh.
They won the championship last year. I think, I mean, I don't know too much about them, but I don't want to put all the teams that came up going down. So that was one of my reasons. Brighton are just missing out for me. I think, again, they're going to be around that point of the table. They're going to be fighting for relegation most of the season.
Yeah.
But it comes down to what you guys said. It comes down to who and if they can put the ball in the back of the net, right? Yeah. They do. I agree with Rez. They play good football. Since like Gus Poyet, they've played like, I think it's quite fluid. It's quite nice. So yeah, I think Brighton could be one though that could potentially go down. I've actually put Palace in the relegation. So Palace are my 17th or 18th, sorry. Palace are 18th for me. And then Watford, and now I'm regretting, but we'll see, Brentford are my 20th. So looking at obviously what's happening right now, it's like it's...
Change it.
I'm completely... I don't do that, mate.
Where's the Tipex?
But yeah, so Brentford are bottom of the table, then Watford and Palace are my bottom three that are going to be relegated this season.
And then Reza, final one. What do you think, 16 to 20, mate?
So Palace, 16. I just think they've kept hold of Zaha, right? So I think he is a difference maker. He's a game changer. So Palace they'll be in a scrap along with Brighton. So I think from Brighton down, in my list,
all these teams are going to be in a scrap.
Will be,
really?
Yeah. Then I've got Norwich just surviving.
Yeah.
With Newcastle going down alongside Watford and in last Brentford. So
it's only me that watched the championship.
So Newcastle will just be hilarious. Slightly scary. I said this last year that if they were to go down, by all accounts, the rules and regulations that govern takeovers of football clubs are less stringent in the championship.
Yeah.
Which means that there's every chance that the takeover goes through and they have rich, basically mega oil-rich, filthy oil-rich owners. And they are a big club.
They are.
So it could work out quite well benefit for them relegation.
But in all of what you've said, it sounds like it would benefit them from going down.
Potentially. Like I say, I don't know the ins and outs of the whole takeover the situation with the takeover, but it looks like the Premier League are pretty adamant it's not happening.
Yeah.
But like I say, I think in the Championship, there's a better chance of it actually happening, assuming that they still want them.
Yeah.
And then, for me, Watford and Brentford, I just didn't think that either of those teams would have enough. I thought Norwich would probably just have just about enough.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But again, I can easily see Palace in there, Brighton, Burnley, those Southampton, Wolves.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's going to be a scrap.
I think it could be a
absolutely.
complete scrap all over the place. And I definitely can see Newcastle 100% being down there as well.
I see. I mean, last year Newcastle was 17 points away, like I said a couple of minutes ago, but I don't think it's going to be that many points between sort of like 11th, 12th and the relegation zone.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's going to be similar to last season. I think you'll probably have, I think there'll be one or two teams that kind of just fall away, and then it'll be quite close.
Yeah, it'll be a scrap.
Yeah, and it's just any team that goes on a little bit of a run, which Newcastle did, they'll just open up a gap, and then that'll be it. So, like I say, I don't think Newcastle were particularly good. They had a spell last year, which skews the points tally somewhat.
I see what you mean.
don't think they were particularly good. For me,
we've all got our tables then picked. What I'll do is if I grab it off both of you, I'll put it on our socials so that people can see what we have picked at the start of the year. And then we can just sort of keep track of it throughout the year, see who's doing bad by Christmas time. Probably me.
No more editing, Tanya. All right.
Got to go quickly get my Tipex and start scribbling everything out.
Yeah, actually, did you make a note of the 1 to 20 guys?
It'll
probably change by Monday.
Tans.
Right, so as we've done our tables, I thought the thing we could move before we move on to sort of like the game predictions for this weekend, just talk about who we reckon will get sacked first. So it's quite a funny topic because I don't know whether we'll have the same answer on this one. My answer is I think Patrick Vieira is going to be going. I just don't think he's got enough to manage Palace to get anywhere near where they need to be. And I think if they get a bad run of results at the start of the season, I think he will go. And they will look to try and bring someone in that's going to keep him in the league.
Yeah. I can see that. I think they might try and give him a bit of time, obviously, because he's a brand new manager, but it depends if it's like a Gary Neville situation in Spain.
Yeah.
They get rid of him after half the season, maybe. I just think if he goes down, he might go down with them. But I can see why Vieira could be the first manager on the list.
Yeah. Have you boys got anything different, Gace? I mean, have you got...
I've got Steve Bruce. I think Newcastle are very hit and miss. I think Steve Bruce, even though he's a United legend, I love the man, he gets a lot of shit from the Toons, the Newcastle fans. He gets a lot. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of crap going on behind the scenes of that club, right? Like we said throughout.
Yeah, no, there is.
So we don't know what's going on, but obviously he's at the forefront of it. If they have bad results, which, looking at their obviously transfer window, Joe Willock is a good signing.
Yeah.
But you've got Joelinton up front. Is that who you're really focusing on? Obviously, still pressure on St. Maximin. So I think
massive pressure.
I think Steve Bruce could be the first one to go.
I don't know about that.
I can't believe he's still there.
Yeah.
Really?
So Maximan, mate.
Oh, so Maximan, I thought you meant Steve Bruce.
Yeah. No,
my bad.
No. So how has no club?
Oh, don't. It's like a Pyatt situation.
It's mental. Absolutely
he must be so
mental.
bad off the pitch. He must literally just turn up for one training session every month.
Well, they did say he just turns up late and pays fines every day, doesn't he?
Because the thing is, like there was talk of, was it Liverpool? There was talk of Liverpool going for Adama Traore. I would pick Sir Maximan every single day of the week over Adama Traore.
I think he gives you more end product than Traore.
Yeah, 100%. He's more consistent as well. Traore is literally speed and strength. He's literally, that is him. His end product, his service, it's pretty poor.
He's like a stronger version of Dan James.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that
far. Mate, to be fair, Dan James's cross, what was it, towards the end of last season?
They play him on the left wing.
Yeah, who was it
That's what I mean.
against? I can't remember who it was against. It was madness. The cross last game of the season, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. What against?
Yeah,
They were relegated, weren't they? The team we played.
yeah.
I
Who
can't
was
remember who
it?
it was now.
Was it Fulham? West Brom?
West Brom.
West Brom.
It was that
With his
youngster
left
that scored,
foot.
wasn't it?
Yeah, with his left foot, that cross was unreal. But yeah, I can't believe that St. Maximin, and the fact that he is there probably could save them.
Yeah, I agree.
But in terms of manager, I've gone for Vieira as well. I can't see it. So I just can't. I think Patrick Vieira, obviously, absolutely unbelievable footballer, one of the best we've seen in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a manager,
He hasn't done it.
when
has
it
he,
comes
really?
to that, it's not so much that, that end of the table, it's hard, really hard, much harder in my opinion than higher up the league. Mid-table's probably a little bit easier. I think bottom end of the Premier League, it's so high pressure, and I just can't see him doing well enough to keep his job long term. The thing, it's not just him. It's not just on him though. The Palace team is poor. Really
they
poor.
are. They are. Yeah, they are. All right. So if that's all our managers done, I think that we said that we move on to game predictions.
We're not doing the dark horse for Europe and everything. And
I mean, yeah, we can do. Yeah, I mean,
and win the league.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We'll start winning the league then. It's a hard one for dark horse winning the league. Because my dark horse would be Chelsea, but they're not
That's
really
not
a dark horse. It's not a dark horse,
No.
is it? Do you know what I mean? So the only other team you can really go for is Leicester, because
I went Leicester
you
because
can really,
I think, because if they were to win the league, it would be a shock, and I think they're the best equipped team to win the league outside of the top four that we've all mentioned.
Yeah, no, that's what I'd go for. It's hard for me to really. You can't really say any. I think any of the top four that we all picked, because it was the same four teams, just in a little bit of a different order. Yeah. I think realistically, you could make an argument for any one of them to win the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's hard to call them dark horses because, like you said, they're all in the running.
Yeah,
Leicester are always hovering around. They're always obviously there. They're a great team, but I suppose you could say it.
Yeah,
I mean, the only other dark horse, I mean, you never know. Leon Bailey might come into the Premier League, be an absolute worldie. Aston Villa all of a sudden end up there.
Mate, if football manager's anything to go by, mate, he's going to be the best player in the league, promise you.
Well, this is what I mean. I mean, at the end of the day, who thought Leicester were going to do it years ago?
So, of course. Yeah, no, of course.
You never know. I mean, Villa may be in the mix, but not really.
I mean, if you take the top four out, we said Leicester are the next best team.
Yeah.
So it's only them that could possibly win the league. I don't think they ever will. I don't think they will, but they're the only one outside the top four. The dark horse of Europe for me, honestly, would be Leeds. Maybe nicking in top four.
We're going top four.
Top four. I mean, top four or top six. Top six would probably be more. I'd be more inclined to definitely say Leeds.
And we're not counting the stupid Europa Conference.
Oh no, that's not Europe.
That if Spurs win it, it's going to be like the best thing ever.
A major trophy, mate. It's a major European
trophy. Major trophy.
Well, at least it won't be empty anymore.
But yeah, no, Leeds would be my dark horse for a form of Europe that's not the Conference League.
Yeah, I think Leeds or Villa.
See, I've gone Villa.
See, it's hard for me because I put Villa in Europe in like the top six.
Right. Oh yeah.
So
of course. Okay.
That's why it's hard for me to put them as a dark horse. Like I think they're going to finish there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, for me, Villa were 10th, so they're definitely they'd be a dark horse for me.
So what you're saying is Arsenal are a dark horse for you then?
No chance. Dark horse of relegation, maybe.
Well, on that note, who is your dark horse for relegation?
In all honesty, mine's Brighton.
Right.
I think even though we said they play nice football and they are missing a striker, that would probably a striker probably put some mid-table-ish, maybe even pushing for the Conference League. But I just think that given your point that you made earlier, Rez, that they're just hoping that other teams are going to be worse than them. You shouldn't go into a Premier League season hoping that someone's going to be worse than you.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's who I'd put as my dark horse to go down.
I think it's quite hard for me because obviously I understand what you're saying, but Brighton for me aren't a dark horse. I think Brighton could go down at any point.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
They play good football. I don't think they're good enough.
Yeah,
and I do see them in that relegation battle, and there's a possibility they go down anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see them go down, but Wolves are definitely in there. Wolves and Burnley for me. I think more leaning towards Wolves because Wolves would be a shocker because again they have that Portuguese strength within their squad from Nuno. They've got class players, but I could see them slipping big time, especially now they've lost their manager.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
But they have got Raul Jimenez, who is an equaliser, I think. So
yeah. No, we'll see. Reza, I think yours is the same, but if you're going to tell me anyway, so go ahead.
Wolves for me. I think that there's a chance of them going down. It'd still be a surprise, but I don't know how they're going to be. It's going to be an interesting one. But they're my dark horse.
Okay, so now we've done those, we'll go on to the game predictions. Obviously the game.
Wait, hang on, Tan. Do you not want to know the score before you go into this one? Yeah,
mate. I can send you a picture of my predictions before this game.
Well,
I literally can. I know exactly what my predictions were before this game. I actually had Brentford 2-1, but that's just me. I genuinely thought I did think Arsenal were going to win away from home first game of the season. All pressures on them. I did think Arsenal were going to win, so I had Brentford 2-1. Okay. That's genuinely what I've had for ages.
Oh, are you going for score as well? I haven't gone for score. I've just gone for.
I went score, but I can just say win.
I could just say win then. So I thought Brentford win. That's genuinely what I thought.
Right.
I put.
Go on then, guys.
No, I put Arsenal 2-1. It's still possible. It's just 1-0, right?
Yeah, still 1-0.
Still possibility, but again, I didn't watch the Championship that much. I didn't see much, so I thought Brentford were going to struggle, but we'll see.
Where's that?
So today, draw. I put.
Okay. Well. Yeah. So we pretty much got
before or after the game started.
it was Arsenal win until the goal.
To be fair, I sent mine at 7:14 yesterday morning to the WhatsApp group.
Have you got the millisecond with that as well, so I can believe it? Or...
hang on a second. I don't know if it tells you. Let me just have a look. No, Gace, you read it at 7:52. Tanner, you read it at 8:11.
All right, so get Friday's game out of the way. We can go Saturday, and we don't know what's going on unless one of us is a fucking time traveller, and none of us know. Start with the United game. I've gone home win. You boys,
put a score. You didn't put a score.
I put 2-0 United, but I go home win if that's what we're saying.
Home win as well. I put 4-1 because I think Leeds are really attacking. We're gonna annihilate them. I don't care. We're gonna beat everyone this season.
Reza.
I've got United to win, but it's going to be tight.
Yeah, that's sort of why I went 2-0. I think it'll be a shutout, so I don't think they'll let them score, but I think it'll be a tight 2-0.
There's no Varane though, right? So
yeah, that's one of the problems. We've just got to rely on Lindelof.
Oh, mate,
has he not? What? Leno actually pulled off a save for once. So it's actually quite good. Move on to the next game. Brighton Burnley. I've gone Burnley. I think Burnley are going to beat him. I think it's going to be 3-1. Is what I put down. I think 3-1 might be a bit over the top because I think it's going to be quite a scrappy game as a first game, but I do still think that Burnley are going to win. G?
I put draw 1-1.
Huh?
I think, to be fair, I think they're both going to be in that bottom table mix. I think it's going to be a really tight game.
Yeah, sound. Reza?
I'll put a draw.
Sound, yeah. I can see why. Right, move on swiftly to the Chelsea game. Chelsea Palace, I think it's going to be a landslide. I think Chelsea 4-0 is what I put. Yeah. I genuinely think they're just going to smash them. But what do you guys say and what you guys got?
Yeah, I put home win, obviously. I put 3-0 Chelsea. I do think it could be a landslide. But then again, obviously, I think Chelsea are going to be one of those top sides this season. So if Palace put up a good fight, it'd be good to see. Because obviously then that might change my mind on how I've put my Prem table. But I've put Chelsea 3-0.
Yeah, Sam? Reza?
Yeah, silly question. It's Chelsea.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, I thought it would be. Everton, Southampton. I've actually gone Everton 2-0. I don't think Southampton are going to have the best season travelling away from home. I know Everton had a poor home season last year, but I think having the fans back will be a lot better for them. And I just think with Richarlison coming back as well, I think there'll just be too much for Southampton.
I definitely think that's one thing that we haven't really mentioned is how big an impact the fact that the 12th man's coming back, right? The fact that you're going to have fans in the stadium.
And
that's why I think it could even make it for the top teams in the table. It could make it more scrappy when they're playing the lower teams, right? Because that fandom makes it plays a huge part.
It was like going to Stoke. I remember going to Stoke away.
Stoke on a Sunday evening, Sunday night. It's just. I think that's, and obviously going back to like the Chelsea Palace's fans, as much as I hate them, they're loud, they're fierce, they get behind their team. So I think I think the fans could play a big part in this season.
No, they could do. You're right. Everton, Southampton, Gates, what you got, mate?
I put Everton 1-0.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really, really tight, to be honest. And I think this will be a good indicator to see. I mean, I know it's the first game of the season, so there'll be nerves.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be an indicator to see where, not so much Everton, to see where Southampton are.
Yeah, no, I think you could be right there. Reza?
I've gone Everton as well.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on them. Yeah, I just don't think Southampton are going to have the firepower away from home. I think they could do bits at home, but just away from home, I don't think they're gonna do much.
Yeah, I mean, Gates made an interesting point. I think it's going to be interesting to see how fans affect results this year, because there are certain teams where you think it's not going to make a difference. Then there's other teams where you think it's going to make a big difference. I think Liverpool is going to make a big difference to Liverpool, for example. Sorry. I think in terms of a positive for them.
Yeah,
I think there's teams like potentially your West Hams,
Burnley
where
as well,
it could be potentially a negative because the way that their fans are. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be interesting season this year, because say with fans back in the stadiums, it's going to be a lot more difficult to call because last season's form basically goes out the window.
No, I do see what you mean.
I agree.
Yeah. So moving on then to Leicester Wolves. I've gone Leicester 2-1.
I have exactly the same.
I think Jimenez is going to get the first goal for Wolves. But then I just think that Leicester are going to go all out, and I think they end up winning the game 2-1.
Yeah, I've gone Leicester as well.
Yeah, I just think...
I've gone Leicester 2-1, similar. Again, I think this could be, a good indicator on where Wolves are at.
Yeah, it could be.
A massive game for anyone, obviously. Leicester's a big team to play against, but if Wolves play the way they can, it could be a proper scrap, and I could see a draw.
New manager, though.
New manager, true.
Yeah.
But that could be a positive impact. You never know, because they're on the decline with Nuno, so... I think it's going to be a scrap. I've put Leicester win.
Yeah, same. I don't know. All three of us have then. Next one then, Watford Villa. I've gone 2-1 Villa.
You read my mind, mate. I've done exactly the same. 2-1 Villa as well for me.
Villa for me as well.
I think that I think Watford will score, but I just think Villa will have too much for him. Like previous games.
Dini on the case.
I think he could back a goal. I think it's been a while since it's been a year since he's played the Premier League, or 2 years, is it? I think. I think he's just going to explode, and I think he's going to get a goal for him at some point in the game. But I'm still tipping Villa to beat him. So are we all agreed on Villa? Reza, you Villa as well?
Yeah, Villa.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on then to the last game. You sure? Are you sure? I thought Norwich have got a great record against Liverpool.
Yeah, Norwich broke their winning record, didn't they?
They did. They were the team. Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna. What?
No, it was Norwich.
No, Norwich, really.
I thought it was Norwich.
Sarr scored twice, didn't he? Played for Watford.
Was it Watford?
Maybe it was.
To stop their unbeaten, beat them 3-0, didn't they?
Yellow. Anyway,
it's yellow team. Yeah, some yellow kit.
I've put Liverpool 2-0.
I Liverpool 5-0. I don't think it's gonna smash them.
I think they're going to want to show something. Norwich is right at the beginning of the season.
The only reason I've said it is because if you look at Liverpool's record against Norwich, that they tend to smash them for 4 or 5 at some point in every single season they've played them, home and away. I just think that they're going to come out and smash them.
I mean, I don't, it's a hard one because obviously Norwich winning the Championship. I know it's the Championship, but they smashed the Championship last season.
Yeah.
So I think they hit the ground running. I think I'm not saying.
Oh mate, no way! No
way! 2-0 to Brentford in the normal Arsenal fashion of a long throw-in coming in from the left-hand side. The keeper has just decided to let it bounce in the 6-yard box over his head.
Leno for you.
And they've tapped it in at the back post. Well, not tapped in, sorry, headed it in at the back post.
Manager's absolutely loving it. He's laughing at it.
He proper gets involved with the fans there, man.
There you go, mate. Our dark horses for winning the Prem has just changed.
What did I say? Brentford 2-1, right?
Right. What is Leno doing?
I don't even think Leno knows what he's doing. Look, Leno's pushed the Brentford
It's
player.
like he's hiding behind him.
Yeah.
Fellaini used to do that, mark himself out of a game.
Marked himself out of an opposition throw-in.
That is jokes. No way. That's mental.
Okay. Go on the Brentford. But yeah,
Arsenal probably are coming 6th.
No, maybe not.
Arsenal in 9th, what?
Mate, Arsenal in the relegation battle, mate. Dark horses have changed.
I told you, mate. I said that a minute ago, didn't I?
Reverse the dark horses. Brentford dark horse for winning. Arsenal dark horse for going down. There you go. But no, back to it. Yeah, I think Liverpool are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think.
Reza, you said Liverpool before I'd even actually asked the question, so I'm going to go if you think Liverpool. So we'll move on to Sunday. The early kickoff on Sunday sees West Ham travelling to Newcastle.
West Ham.
I've picked it West Ham 2-1.
West Ham 2-1.
Yeah, that's what I've got. West Ham 2-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you can really talk much about this game. I think it's going to be a straightforward one for West Ham. I think Newcastle might score late on rather than early. I think the Newcastle fans will be quite disappointed with the game, in all honesty. And then I think just West Ham will come out with the win.
Yeah.
All right, so move on to the last one of the week. So it's the Sunday kickoff. The last one
is going to be interesting.
Spurs versus City.
I think. Go on, sorry, Dan.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say. I mean, if I go in my first, I think City 2-0 is what I've put.
Right.
I genuinely think City normally have a good start to the season. I think even with De Bruyne injured, I still think they're going to have too much for Spurs.
Yeah.
And we still don't know whether Harry Kane would Harry Kane be playing. I don't think.
He joined them. He rejoined us for training. So that's what I was going to say. It's really interesting because I've put City win 3-1. Yeah. But I'm just really intrigued to see how people react to the Kane, how his teammates react to him on the field. If he hits the ground running, you never know. He might be on fire.
Of course. Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
I've put City win 3-1.
It depends, doesn't it?
Big time.
Reza, I'm assuming you've gone for City as well, but go ahead. See what you've got.
No, City for me as well. I think it'd be a close game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be easy for City. Certainly not first game of the season. But yeah, for me, it's City.
Okay, Sam. That sort of that ends the predictions. That's every game that's going to be on this week. I know we've all got them all. I'll grab yours off you again. So I know I've already got Rez's. I'm gonna have a little look at them next week. What I was thinking of doing is doing like a point system for how many you get right, just throughout the year. Just see how many we get right between us. I know obviously some of us are saying the same thing as each other. If we do next week, if we actually do the score, what we can do is we can do like 2 points for correct score and then 1 point for correct team. So if we pick, so say we say the Brentford Arsenal game's going to be 2-0 Brentford. If you pick it, you get 2 points. If you pick Brentford to beat Arsenal, say 3-0, but it's 2-0, you get 1 point. Sort of thing. And then just see how many points we get at the end of the season, or we can look at it halfway through the season and go from there. But yeah, that's that. So the next part of it, after the predictions, I was going to say we'd do our dream teams. We have got a league if anyone likes to join. Before we sign off for the podcast, I will let everybody know what our socials are and what our pin is for the dream team, so that anyone can join. It's just a bit of fun throughout the year to see who can come out on top. See who's got the best football knowledge. Wondering what everyone's picked. So who wants to go first with their team? Okay, Rez, you want to go first?
As long as it's locked in, you can't copy me.
No, you can't do it anymore. It is locked in, and there's nothing you can do about your team. You cannot change. You cannot do anything.
Are you
so
sure?
Go ahead, mate. As far as I know, it is.
Okay. Well, I'll go if you want. For me, I've gone for Schmeichel as my goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Leicester don't concede that many goals, and also he's class in goals, so I think he'll do well for me.
Yeah.
In terms of points, did you want me to go through the whole team, or did you want to go through like we all do?
I don't mind. Should we do it position by position, or
we could do like goalkeeper, defence, midfield, strike. See what we've all got. Yeah, go.
Yeah,
for it. Who you got in goal?
I've got Martinez for Villa. I think Villa are going to have, as you already know, I said they're going to finish sixth. I think they're going to have a good year.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to concede too many goals, and I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper, apart from the top 4 teams, or top 5 teams, should I say? So yeah, that's who my keeper is.
Cool.
Reza?
Rez?
I've got the big DDG.
Oh, he's gone for David.
I had David, right, and I'm just scared that there's a situation where Henderson might play.
That's
don't
what
think
I was
he
worried
should.
about.
I think David should play, but
yeah,
I think if he does play, then yeah, that's a great choice.
That was my massive worry about putting David the G. Between
yeah,
the sticks.
but he's 3 million.
Yeah, true.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the only worry. I was just worried that if Henderson gets a run of games and David doesn't get in the team, he'll only be playing cup games.
I mean, worst ways I'll have to sub him out, but at the moment, I think he'll start tomorrow. So
fair enough. Yeah, Sam.
Cool.
Gase, go on, your defenders, mate.
Yeah, so I've got the best left back that's ever existed, Gilberto Carlos. Gilberto, I've got Soyuncu from Leicester.
Yeah.
I think he's obviously solid defender. Ruben Diaz, Ruben Diaz, great last season.
Yeah.
I think he's arguably City's best defender. And then I've gone for a newbie. I've gone for Kenyatte from Liverpool. I think, he could be good this season.
Fair enough. I've gone against the meta. I've picked fucking four right backs as my back four. I've got Semedo from Wolves. I think he had a bad year last year, but I think he'll pick it up this year. Normally players sort of like him tend to have a bad first year in the Premier League, and in the second year they tend to kick on a bit more. They know the physicality of the league. They know what it's like. And I think Jimenez, with him having Jimenez back, he'll have a lot to aim at when he's whipping balls into the box. So. Well, Jimenez, Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Says itself. Alexander-Arnold, just because of his assists. I went with a pretty assist right back theme just to see how many points I can get from him. And then Luke Ayling, who plays for Leeds, their right back. I was quite impressed with him against us. Leeds, I think I predicted him to come like 8th. So I think he's going to have a pretty good year defensively. Given the fact I have said, though, I don't know why I've picked a Leeds player playing at the back, considering their whole tactic is just to score more than you. So it's going to be could be a rough year. I could be swapping him quite quickly, but that's my back four.
Cool. What you got, Rez?
I've gone for a 3.
Oh, okay.
So I've got Shaw, Canate, and Cancelo.
Nice. That's a solid 3. That's a really good back 3, that is. Yeah, Jesus. He studied this, isn't he? He's literally looked online. He's been reading books. He's done a lot.
Can't read.
So, Gayser, mate, you're midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing now a trend in Leicester. I've got Tielemans. I think Tielemans is a worldie,
He's
to be honest.
A sensational player.
Absolutely unbelievable. I think, what did they pay, like 38 million for him or something? Or was it 50?
You can see why. You see
why, right? Last season, he was phenomenal. I thought he was great. I've gone for our new boy, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
If he hits the floor running, which I think he could do, he's got the flair. I think he could not only assist a lot, I think he's going to be a banger in front of goal.
Yeah,
and then I'm interested about this, right? I've gone big boy Bruno Fernandes in the middle.
Yeah.
I obviously a big last season to live up to. If he can do it again, great. He's going to make me balling. But we'll see tomorrow how it goes.
We will see. Well, I've gone big man Bruno as well. I do think that last season wasn't just a fluke. I do think he is going to be maybe not as good as last year, because last year was a freak of nature, but I still think he's going to be just as good. I've gone with him though. I've gone Gundogan and KDB.
Okay.
I
Well,
know
he's injured, isn't he?
I know he is injured for a couple of weeks, but I think to not have Kevin De Bruyne in my team, just given the fact of how good he normally is, I couldn't not see having him in.
Hasn't he gone to see a specialist about his injury?
Jesus.
Well, it's locked in now, mate.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's it. Game over. But I think Gundogan's going to have a good year. I think he's going to be solid for them in midfield. He's going to be what they really rely on.
Few years, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just going to keep growing on the performances he has. And Pep won't. I think Pep normally puts him as one of the first names down on the team sheet. He's been that good for him recently. So
cool.
Yeah, that's my midfield three. Reza, what have you got?
You got 5, Rez?
4.
Oh, okay.
I want 3-4-3.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I've got Grealish.
Yeah.
Saka. Fernandez and Sancho.
Very nice.
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 I mean, I was still really tempted to put Pogba in there, but I'm in because
I was as well.
You don't know what one's going to turn up, and if he turns up, because he did last season, apart from the final of Europa, we don't want to talk about it. He's unreal going forwards. He'll get you assists, he'll get you goals. So that was a hard one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so
moving to the front three.
Yeah, go on, Gace, mate, you first.
Yeah, so I went for Heung-min Son, obviously depending on the Harry Kane situation. I mean, he's still, even with Kane there, he's still a good goal scorer for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And I think if Kane leaves, he's going to be, unless they replace him, he's going to be their only goal scorer, really. Yeah, Lucas Moura is okay, but Son will be the main goal machine for them. Sadio Mane, Liverpool. I couldn't afford Salah, to be honest. That's why I went for him. But I think obviously Mane's quality. Anyway, I think I know Liverpool fans are going to go mad, but I prefer him to Mohamed Salah. I think he's just all round better. And then Big Rom, purely on the basis, yes, it could be unpopular, but Big Rom, I think, like we said earlier, he's a small team killer.
Yeah,
which he's gonna rack up the points, rack up the goals against the little teams, but also if he starts performance against the big teams, he could be in for a golden boot.
No, I see why you've got him there. My front three, Harry Kane. I think if he stays at Tottenham or wherever he goes, if he goes to City,
it's unbelievable.
I'm laughing. But if he stays at Tottenham, I still think he will get 15 to 20 goals anyway, even if he stays at Tottenham. Salah, I managed to afford him, put him in there. And I've actually gone Eddie Cavani.
Oh,
I think give it to
I think
Cavani.
If United are going to have the big year that I think they're going to have, I think a lot is going to rely on Cavani in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. I know Bruno is going to help him, Rashi will help, Sancho will help, but I think Eddie Cavani could get 15 to 20 for us.
Nice.
That's what I genuinely believe. So that's what I've gone for. Reza, what's your three?
Yes, obviously, I've gone 3 as well. I've gone for Lukaku.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got Salah.
Yeah.
And I've got Tony from Brentford.
You just put him in. He's just transferred him in, isn't he?
He hasn't scored. But yeah, so that's my front three. I think, like I said, nice. Lukaku's going to get goals. I think Liverpool are going to be better, and I think Salah's going to get a lot of goals.
No,
again, I did toy with Kane, but I did have enough money. I did actually have Kane in there, but that's a save. But yeah, I don't know with his situation. Where's his head at? What's it going to be?
That's it. And if he does end up staying, like, how is he going to play? You know, you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't for one second question his professionalism.
Yeah.
But at the back of his mind, if he wants out, he wants out, right? Mm-hmm. And regardless of what you think, how professional you think you are, that's there. And especially if Spurs start losing, if they do start doing badly, he sees City doing well. How does that affect him? It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. That being said, I read today City have bid 127 million.
Wow.
What for him?
Yeah, I read
Wow.
that somewhere. It might be Sky Sports actually. So yeah, it seems like they're pushing. I'm just surprised that they're. I mean, obviously, I'm not surprised they're pushing now. I mean, it's a little bit naughty on City's part, especially as if Spurs are to do anything on Sunday, they need Kane.
Of course.
100%.
Do you boys put a question to you boys though? Do you not think that if Harry Kane stays, do you not think that the players will think our best chance of finishing anywhere decent in the league and doing anything in Europe or the league, the conference league that they're in, and doing anything will rely on Harry Kane being his best, rather than the players sitting there and going, "Oh no, he's wanted out. Let's not play with him."
No, absolutely. I don't think that anyone will say that they don't want to play with him. I think every single member of that Tottenham squad will want Harry Kane on that pitch with them. I think he makes them all better players. I don't think Son is as good as his stats make him out to be. I think Harry Kane is a massive, massive part of Son's game.
That's what I believe as well.
So, I mean, you saw Kane in the Euros which game was it? It was against the Czech Republic, wasn't it? And then against Ukraine in particular, he was really good against Ukraine. When he was dropping deep, his passing range is fantastic. His vision, he's a real good player. So I don't think it's going to be a problem from that perspective. I just think that, say, subconsciously, there may be something in Harry Kane that says, I don't want to be here. Like I say, especially if they do start doing badly.
Yeah.
But that's just me. It may not. He may be a consummate professional and just go, do you know what? I'm here. Just get on with it. Who knows? We will see.
And also, I think can work in favour of the player at the same time, right? Because, yes, I think though all the players on the pitch will be professional, they're all going to feel a bit disrespected because he's not handled it very well in the whole situation. But then also at the same time, what, you think Kane handled it well?
Well, I mean, he said that he wanted to leave. The rumours are that there was a gentleman's agreement that Daniel Levy is now basically rescinded on. He's gone, nah, do you know what? That's not happening.
Yeah.
So Harry Kane feels a little hard done by. Obviously, people are reporting that he didn't report for training. But he's saying that he reported for training when it was agreed that he was going to report for training.
Yeah, I mean, it's hearsay, so obviously, depending on the side of the story.
I think he's handled it fine for what it's worth. Look, there's been no bust-ups on the training ground yet. There's been, obviously, the season hasn't started, so we'll see. But thus far, there haven't been that many rumours of discontent.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think it's harsh to say that he's handled it badly because all he's really done is said, "I want to leave."
I think as well what you say is the gentleman's agreement. It's like what we had with Ronaldo really when we got him for another year.
Literally exactly that.
I wonder how Ronaldo would have reacted if Fergie. I don't think Fergie wouldn't do it for 1 minute, but if Fergie would have turned around and said, "Well, screw the agreement, you're staying."
Yeah,
I think Ronaldo probably would have acted the same way, even though he's professional, very professional footballer. I think he still would have been a bit like, "Well, you said I could leave." Like in a player's career, if you think Harry Kane is he 28?
Yeah,
you think he's come into his best years as a striker, and if he stays at Tottenham, he's not going to win anything for a while.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the whole situational, right? It depends on what side of the story, what one's true, we'll never find out. But what I meant by when I said fueling him is obviously he'll be pissed by the whole situation. And I think if the fans get on his back, I think it could fuel him to be like, you know what, I'm just going to fire on all cylinders if he doesn't get the transfer that he wants.
Yeah.
I think he seems like he's got quite a good mentality. I think he'll go out there and just tenfold smash it, which could be a scary Harry Kane, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that could be a scary Harry Kane. So as that concludes our dream teams, I just thought I'd say that the Dream Team League, we're doing it on the Sun. If anyone does want to join our league, you're more than welcome to. The pin is SGA DS3UW. That's Sierra Golf Alpha Delta Sierra 3 uniform whiskey, isn't it? I believe for W.
It is whiskey. Yeah,
it is whiskey. Yeah. So if anyone wants to join, more than welcome to join in with us. And yeah, it's just a bit of fun to see who can get the best team there. But boys, I think that's pretty much every topic we've got here.
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We've covered everything that we said we was going to cover.
How long was that?
At the moment, we're about an hour and 30 odd.
Bloody hell, see, who said we were going to smash through it?
Someone said like 30 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah, I was like.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you, boys, for being on the podcast. I mean, I know it's all of ours, but thank you for turning up, I suppose.
No worries.
Don't have to put
in
any fines for missing training or anything like that. And yeah, like I say, just for anyone listening, we're going to be doing this weekly. We haven't quite set a date between all three of us what day it's going to be yet. It will be before the next lot of fixtures next weekend. And we will start to get Champions League involved and maybe look at some of the big games in sort of some of the other leagues like La Liga. Serie A, probably hard to tell what the big game is anymore over there. They've got about 6 teams that could probably win the league. And the Bundesliga league, I mean, we'll probably look at Messi's PSG game at one point, his first game that he plays for.
We have to touch on that at some point, by the way.
We will
100%.
do. I'm sure we will do. We'll have more time in other episodes. Well, actually, no. Let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Let's talk about it before we end this one. What do you guys think of Messi
fucking joke
going to PSG?
To be fair, I think it's absolute horseshit. I don't know how they've made it happen within FFP. I don't understand. I mean, it's a bit boring. I get it. He's nearing the end of his career. Sensational player. France, it would have been lovely to see him in the Prem. Don't get me wrong. It would have been nice, but I don't know if it was too physically demanding at this stage. Still would have been great to see him, but I just think it's a bit of bullshit him going to PSG. I mean, their whole goal is to win the Champions League. Can they do it? Who knows
if they don't? If they don't now.
I mean,
Jesus,
the thing is,
the
problem is obviously they've always been like it, right? PSG, they're a team of superstars. Do they gel well enough? Well, clearly not at the moment. I mean, they didn't even win their league last year.
How do you keep all those egos in check?
Exactly that.
Yeah, it's a very hard one. Very difficult one.
That, and then now they're talking about possibly trying to get Ronaldo in next year because he'll be on a free, and it's just they're going beyond. It's beyond the joke. Now,
I mean, I heard a rumor, as I said to you the other night, Gase. I believe that
Brentford have done it.
On the Brentford.
On the Brentford.
Well, let me update my league.
Arsenal Fan TV. It's going to be an absolute brilliant one. They've had an absolute shock against Brentford.
Tune in. Have a lovely night.
What was I saying before? I forgot what I was saying now. Jesus.
Messi, PSG, Ronaldo.
That's what I'm trying to think. Oh, that was it. The rumor about what the owner said. So the owner of PSG apparently, I don't know if it's true or if it's a rumor, has come out and said that the financial fair play is not going to worry about because they got their what was it? They got their transfer embargo, whether it was about 2 years ago.
Right.
Apparently, they can't be hit with anything for 5 years afterwards. So they've got another 3 years where they can't actually be hit with anything from UEFA or FIFA for fair play, financial fair play. I don't know how true that is. It's probably just a rumor. So basically, the French owner's sticking his middle finger up and going, "We're just going to sign everyone, win the Champions League for the next 3 years, and then you can sort us out then." I don't know.
I mean, it's like G said. I can't see how they've done it. I can't see how they've done it fairly.
Yeah.
And the second F is obviously fair in FFP. Apparently so. I just can't see it. Obviously, look, clearly there is something going on with PSG. They're getting money. It's the same thing City did it, right? money's coming in through the back door,
Mhm.
so they're managing to circumvent. But I thought the FFP on salaries was based on last year, so you could only increase it by a certain percentage. Then I guess if your percentage is already, if your salary, total salary spend is already massive, 10% of massive is massive.
That's it.
So
I think their wage bill is about 550 million from what I saw.
That's a joke.
So yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to be exciting, right? I mean, you look at that PSG team, and weakest probably left back, goalkeeper, obviously Donnarumma. To be fair, they got Donnarumma now, not Navas. So, well, Navas is still there, but
I feel sorry for Navas, you know.
He's
I think he is a solid
really
keeper.
He's not unbelievable, but he was dogged out of Madrid after winning 3 Champions Leagues. Or was it 4 Champions Leagues that he won with them? Or 3?
3, I think, before he went.
He's dogged out of there, moved to PSG, and he's like, "Oh, sweet, I'm the top boy at PSG." And they're just like, "Oh, we haven't won a Champions League. We got to the final, and the semi-final year after." Oh, basically, mate, just getting Donnarumma in. You can go on the bench again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, and I think midfield, Verratti's just unbelievable. And
Yeah,
then
he doesn't get enough mention.
You've got that front three of Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar. That is mental.
Backup Di Maria.
United's beating with
Ramos. The thing is, people aren't mentioning Ramos. They've got one of the best defenders of our generation. Gini Wijnaldum in their midfield now.
Yeah, Marquinhos going back in defence.
Yeah, their team is ludicrous.
It is absolutely insane. It'll be interesting.
Herrera.
Yeah,
good little backup.
Drinks his Stella by the cask.
Ole, 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 ole.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're getting away with it. And I mean, to me, it's a bit boring because it's almost like an element of bullying in their league. I don't think they'll bully their way through the Champions League because I don't know how you get those players to gel, to be honest with you. But
so it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it for what it's worth. I think as much as I look at it and think this is unfair and it's an absolute injustice, I am also excited to see it.
One last question before we do sign off. Do you think that Poch is going to have enough to look after this team? And
I don't think anyone's got enough.
Because I don't think he has. I think it could go horribly wrong for him very quickly.
I think, like Red said, you've got too many egos, right? I think you started to see Mbappe's ego. I don't watch the Liga that much, but you started to see it creep out in the Euros. Very, very cocky.
No,
do you blame him for hanging around with Neymar, one of the cockiest footballers that's ever lived?
No.
You can't. I mean, obviously, Messi might not come across as cocky, but there's no way he hasn't got an ego, right? He's one of the best players ever.
Yeah, you have to at that level. You have to have an air of arrogance. Yeah,
you have to.
I think there'll be arrogance all over that pitch. Maybe Poch tries to. I don't know if Ramos could keep people in check. That's the only chance you got. Try and get Ramos on board, and then
that's killing his own players.
Kick him up the arse. But I genuinely don't see how you keep all of those.
The thing is, I don't think there's a manager in the world who can keep all those egos in check.
No,
it'd be hard. Very hard. Right, guys, that concludes it then. We've spoken on a load of topics today. I will, just before we go, if anyone's listening and wants to join our socials, we've got a Twitter account, which is at Box2Box Podcasts. It's got an S on the end of the podcast. That's our Twitter. You can search it on Facebook, Box2Box Podcast. Any of those, we'll be posting on our socials, everything to do with when we'll be releasing the podcast. We'll probably maybe put some little clips up on there. And if we do anything in the future, like any videos or tier lists or anything like that, we'll also be putting them on there as well. If you want to contact us for anything, or you feel like you want us to talk about something on the podcast, just send it in to us. We're happy to talk about anything, as long as it's pretty much football related, guys. You can say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, like, I'm not going to come and talk about the ballet. I don't think any of us are going to have too much of a good opinion about it.
Well, you can give it a go if you want to forward stuff on. We'll be
Yeah.
ready to have a look at
We're
it.
winning
but
to everything. Thanks for this. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we'll see you later, guys.
Have a good one.
Take care.